Well then, thankfully Master Matoya led us through on the grand sacrifice of Astral and Frederick.
I'm surprised they
This
didn't
place looks
sacrifice me
older
for the
than
greater good.
Dad.
I've never actually been here.
Yes, but I also think you would rob Master Matoya's last nerve. Regardless, if you would follow
No
me.
promises.
Ooh, trouble.
So,
Oh no.
some
Oh,
of
it's
you
all
might be
stopped. Good.
wondering
Nat maxing.
who built all of this. First of all, this was built by the Sharlians that also constructed the place you now know as Idleshire. A couple of years ago, Idleshire was known as New Sharlian, but was abandoned by the Sharlians and then overtaken by the local residents, such as the kobolds.
Oh, what?
We should have taken Vupa.
My apologies, yes.
I have no way of contacting Vupa,
I'm
sadly.
starting to get to you.
The thought did
I
reach my
am
mind.
well over 80, so yes.
Just right.
Now, you might be wondering, for what purpose was the anti-tower built? The anti-tower is the predecessor to the Aetioscope. The Aetioscope has a purpose to observe the ethereal sea, which, in return, of course, the anti-tower was built to study the ethereal sea, which came to a great success. But what they saw caused the Exodus.
What's the Exodus?
Essentially, the people of Sharlian returning to Sharlia and abandoning this place.
Oh.
So basically, something scared them so badly they left.
Correct. What they learned is essentially what was part of why the Loperids built into the moon as a retreat should the star meet its end.
Hmm.
Rest assured, we will not be facing any dangers. We have dispatched groups of adventurers into here before to secure the place in its entirety.
Hmm. All
Oh,
right.
good. The Pirogos aren't going to be angry.
The
No,
what?
they won't.
The what?
The frogs you have encountered
Oh.
earlier.
Those
Yes,
are the ones.
they are familiars that were once used by the scholars of Sharlian to aid them. Some of them also yet work for Master Matoya.
Oh, or gonna have to walk on that again.
Aw.
Out of curiosity, should we be worried about those platforms? Because they seem kind of fall-throughy.
Flimsy?
No, you do not need to worry. These are magical in nature. Their ethereal density is high enough until a point where they are like solid ground.
Aside from
Minus the gravity.
Boss Arena.
Yes, the rather large platform as well. And we're approaching the first stop into our little sightseeing, I suppose, to behold the anti-tower in its entirety.
Does anti-tower just mean upside-down tower?
Perhaps.
Ugh.
Yeah, I was afraid of that. Watch where you step.
Ooh.
Aw.
What I wish to see for you all is this. What you see below us is, in fact, part of the ethereal sea. As this location was discovered, the anti-tower was built for the purpose of observation and research. Well, we head inside then. In the middle of the platform, you will find a teleporter. It will bring you to the next platform.
Don't worry, the teleport doesn't bite.
Oh.
Probably.
More of the fact of me biting it.
Probably.
Let's hope it works.
What?
Oh. Oh.
And I don't know what it was, but I think
Oh.
I need one of those tummy ache survivor t-shirts after this trip.
Oh.
Here. Hold
I
you
see.
little-
Some
little
of you
crystals
aren't
in.
necessarily used to this
Right.
kind of ethereal
You've got a cell
teleportation.
stop settle in your stomach as long as you hold on to it.
Thank you.
Anybody else having an uneasy stomach?
I'm fine.
I haven't ever had any violent ethereal sickness episodes ever since I helped out with the experimental aetherites.
Ah.
Huh?
Sounds
You're
about
braver
right.
than you look. Anyway, shall we continue?
Jury's still out on most
Meow.
people whether they think I'm brave or stupid. I'd like to think the former, but I wouldn't be surprised if it's the latter.
Yes.
Why not both?
It is interesting
point.
how
Brilliantly stupid.
close those two are.
It is really cool.
It is definitely different.
It's a fine line.
I never seen the Ethereal Sea up close.
Mm.
Or maybe they're proportional to one another.
Also, holy Hannah, do not look at the seed.
By technicality, Miss Natalia, you and your brother have actually been fairly close to the ethereal sea already, as you've worked on the Ragnarok.
I
Just
see.
below the hangar lies the Atiascope.
I was unaware of it.
Then again, I think you're focusing more on the Ragnarok than.
Can't believe a bunch of outsiders got to see the Ragnarok before me.
Well.
I'm still salty about that. Not at you. Just at the scholars.
Do these like circles on the platform mean anything?
They are of Charlian design, just general design choices. Anyway, next platform, if you would.
Doing alright, Snugly?
Does your friend have
Yeah.
a tree branch for an arm, or am I seeing this incorrectly?
Ask him.
Oh, Dragon Hunters hit it,
This
and
place looks like it has a
my-
lot of falling hazards.
I'm a cleric, so my
Just a
goddess
little bit.
repaired it
So you
in
might
her
want to
own
make
way.
sure that your wings
She's
Just
the
a
goddess
little.
of nature and unity.
Ah, that makes sense, I suppose.
Ooh, interesting.
Yeah.
Do you think the matron would have interest in such things?
She'd probably go absolutely ballistic for it.
Anyway.
I presume you aren't of Ellison, but something similar descent, considering your height.
Shall we continue?
I'm an elf.
Ellison are a type of elves in this world.
Sadly, there isn't too much historical things I can tell you at this point, as it is more recent history, therefore there isn't too much. I suppose what I can tell you is the escapades of the Warrior of Light and his allies as they ventured forth in here for, I suppose, the first time.
Trust me, I've heard the doll stories.
Yes.
The what?
Huh?
The doll
There were
stories?
some familiars in the form of ball-jointed dolls to
Like porcelain
prevent
type,
in
or with
yes, porcelain type. They were
Creepy.
placed here alongside other familiars to protect this place from unwanted visitors.
Don't bring
Can't tell
Gen
if
here.
some of the
got it.
older scholars placed them there, or if that was
Ideas.
Matoya's doing.
Both, perhaps, or simply familiars
Oh,
left behind.
I see why you say that.
Next platform, please.
Uh,
Don't
worry,
this
there
is the
will
second
only
to
be
last
one.
one.
Just moving out of the way.
Yeah, I know.
Now, This
think that's
is,
what
I
inside is when we're
suppose,
gonna have to
the
keep an eye on
entry
you.
platform, where scholars would, for the most part, make some last preparations before heading into the tower itself.
Some of this doesn't look very standable on.
Yeah. Oh, you can stand on it just fine.
It is perfectly fine.
No, it looks like some of it you can just straight up fall through. No, no,
Does
no,
it
no,
look like you're
no, no,
gonna-
no.
Like how you're
Really,
about
really
to
get out of
now.
there.
Get out of there.
Fourth dimensionally get
just
out of
noticed.
there.
It seems like
I
the platform
think-
magic has destabilized over the years.
We shall have
Don't
to
stand
correct.
on the non-solid parts.
Really do not.
Ow, my foot.
But
I
yes,
was about ready to cast gravity to get them out of there.
I would have appreciated the save.
Yeah.
I suppose something I can explain for our new friends to this realm. The symbols of Charlian, often used in Charlian architecture, often are more related to the aquatic, to water, as the patron deity Thaliac is associated with the heaven of water, as well as the water being seen as a symbol for the ever-flowing stream of knowledge. Now, let us enter the tower itself, shall we?
Just the warning, this is
Exactly
going to
do
be
you
one
do
that,
that?
this last one's going to be a
Enter this
bit of a big
place.
one, so hold on to your stomachs.
Oh no.
I got a special rock that allows me to no longer have tummy aches. I shall abuse this power.
Well,
Mm.
if there are any questions.
What the?
And here we are. As you can see, the closeness to the ethereal sea and the amounts of ether can cause some strange phenomena.
Your furniture is not safe here.
Wait.
Yes.
I would say it's definitely
Stairs
safe.
upside down?
Yeah.
This is
The entire architecture of the anti-tower
so
was
weird.
constructed upside down.
Oh.
Not sure about the
okay.
particular
No
choice,
wonder it
but
looks like down.
they built an entire tower upside down, decided to just stick with it.
Why? What the?
Yeah, it's literally upside down.
Oh,
Yes.
huh.
Interesting. I was wondering about the choice for it.
I've heard stories about the Feywild in my realm, and this is just reminding me of it.
Well, there is
Meow.
Fae here, technically-ish, but this isn't Fae.
No, I do not believe we will, brother. Thinks he has better things to do than be in an upside-down tower.
Like this big crystal has been subdued for now.
Uncle Lance would like to be in an upside down tower, but then again, he's also a weirdo who likes weird
I've
things.
heard quite problematic. It just keeps coming back.
Actually, he doesn't like it here.
I use gravity to
No?
implode a soda can.
It reminds me of a place called the Backrooms.
Terrifying.
Yeah.
Proud of you.
Uh-huh.
At least it was on a soda can and not a rat.
Or a
I
person.
don't entirely know what that is,
Or really
but
anything.
I feel like I shouldn't ask questions.
It's a complicated. I'll tell you another time.
Okay.
Focus on the
As it
lesson.
should be noted, in the abandoning of the anti-tower, which is also resulting in its current state, given the lack of maintenance and its closeness to the ethereal sea, it's the words escape me. The debris like this are a result of such.
Is there a way
I
to
highly
revert
suggest
it?
not opening the closets / furniture that you technically would have access to. Those are usually shut for a reason.
Oh,
Oh, that's weird. What happened to the stairs?
Well,
Gone.
in the abandoning of such,
Uh-huh.
some of the familiars left behind became a bit unruly. One of the most famous of such was a certain Spriggan who grew very attached to bigger chunks of crystal.
Lean crystals.
Hmm.
Generally, Spriggans would be attached to rocks at about this size. The small one right here.
What kind of crystal is
This
this?
one... This big one wouldn't
This-
even satisfy it.
This in particular, given its coloration, would be assumed to be associated with the element of lightning. Which is a half-truth. While lightning certainly is one of the preferred elements of Spriggans, this one, given its size and how the Spriggan wielded it, would suggest that there was gravity in play.
Interesting. Can we take samples?
Can we?
You might find some good results out of these. If I recall correctly, most of the rocks around here were of disassembled golems.
Yes.
Just because I haven't been here personally doesn't mean I don't intently read reports.
Thanks for asking. I was nervous to ask.
It's alright. We're both
Jealousy is a
interested in it.
powerful motivator. Also spite.
I'm sure Arik will like it too.
Now, let us continue.
Maybe it'll earn a spot in his Nitaka bag.
His
I don't want
what?
to get left behind, so we gotta keep up.
He's got a bag that no one's allowed to touch but him. That's why it says Nitaka.
Rocket so fond over.
I see.
Oh no, wait, this isn't the rock.
So I made sure to grab some for him and some for me.
I'm gonna study these and probably give some to Azure. He also has a heavy interest in crystals.
Big
How
collection.
does the debris just float there?
It was...
Because
It-
of how this
according
place
to the
is, it honestly
reports-
feels a little...
The rock was about as big as one of those.
Oh.
Ah. Sorry for all the questions.
It is a school trip. Questions are supposed to be asked.
If it's a school trip and you're not asking questions, then the advisor is not doing a good enough job.
Or maybe too good of a job and answers all the questions for you.
Before you even ask them.
Yeah.
I like that description.
Fair enough.
Now, here we have one of the other observation platforms that allowed him to gaze further down into the ethereal sea under a lot of caution, of course. Given that, well, you already see how the rest of the tower looks.
Oh, that's cold dust. They recently removed that Spriggan.
Yes. It somehow keeps coming back. They never... Some adventurers can't bring themselves to, you know, the Spriggan. But then again, this place is kind of its home as well, so...
Maybe he has other family
It's being
members.
subdued, and... Yes, perhaps too.
I
Well,
highly
shall we
suggest getting away
continue?
from the edge. You wouldn't want to fall off into the ethereal sea.
Otherwise
I'll
we
be
will have to
careful.
come looking for you. Very well.
Also, I
Shall we?
don't want to figure out what happens
No, we
when
cannot.
I don't want to figure out what happens if aetheric disassembly starts affecting someone from outside the star.
Let us not find out.
I'd rather not.
Shall we? The next portion may cause some discomfort as the architecture will be upside down.
We're about to find out.
No, you clutch the funny stone.
Even
Clutch the
worse
funny
than this.
stone.
Even worse than this.
You'll see.
Chaos.
Oh.
Like
This
I
is a
thought, we're on
normal
the
school
ceiling.
field trip.
I don't
This is
I
quite...
know they
Wrong
talked
like
about
this.
this Miss Frizzle
Although
lady,
more
but this
twists.
is definitely not like her trip.
Yeah, not just straight up
To
upside
the...
down.
Yeah.
Welcome to the proper inner part of the antitower.
I don't understand the
halls-
choice of design of making it like this.
Welcome to
Neither
questionable
do I.
Charlene
Okay.
architecture.
Maybe to
I
confuse
myself
the
am
enemy
not
if anyone were to attack.
Charlian, therefore I do not understand their philosophies. I have merely been hired, I suppose, as a professor on aetherology.
I grew up in Charlene, even I don't get this.
The forum has its ways.
It's just so counterproductive.
Oh, very. But let's just say some members of the forum and researchers are a little bit eccentric,
They even
extra.
Only a
I
little.
would call
they even
them.
flip the chandeliers.
This is definitely
They
more
have
than a
chandeliers
little.
in here.
Yeah.
Why is everything
And the
Or perhaps the
statues.
architects
so
wanted to
weird?
challenge themselves as well.
Oh,
'Cause if
thank
you look at
God
the
mammoths are not
flags-
active.
Why
actually
did they
managed to
stop and not
screw
light
up.
the candles?
You have to keep in mind, my
Could
friend,
you
this
imagine
place has
having
been
fire
abandoned for
upside
quite
down?
some time.
Oh,
Or
fair.
wax dropping on you.
From what I read, if
Well,
the security
no,
system were
wouldn't the
active,
wax
these
just drop upward?
statues
Yet
would be
we are
petrified and
walking
drop
on the
mammoths on our
roof.
heads.
So the question is,
Yeah,
what
okay.
affects
So
what
it-
gravity? The flags are affected.
That is a good point. Thank you, Tona. The mammoths you see on the ceiling, the statues, those were previously an additional security measurement. As those of you who can see or sense it, there's still some ether remaining in them. However, the security system has been disabled for the sake of this tour. Therefore, these mammoths will not come to life. They may be automatons in nature, however, due to the enchantments placed upon them, they are capable of combat magics.
So they're like
Those are the
constructs?
ones that look like
Correct.
constructs, but in the
Interesting.
ish. Yeah, because some of them look like soldier types, other look like they're
If
magic
anything
casting
attacks
types.
us, I'll just gravity it.
Gravity at where?
Away.
Good answer.
Unfortunately, should any issues arise, apparently I was stuck with combat duty as I'm the younger member of the
My dear, I may be old, but I'm not defenseless. He conjures a tome. I'm still more than capable of defending myself.
Grandpa's got books. I
I'd
can't
just
say
rather not
hands because
anything
he can fight
dangerous
with his
happen because I
hands.
don't want to test any. I don't want to test my
Well,
experimental.
you know what they say, words
newness
hurt.
Just yet.
That's why you threw the books.
They are.
For
Looking for me?
Patriots, I'm
That's
very
a lot of
certain.
I went up
that
there to see stuff.
Mr.
I see.
Akira and I believe we haven't met, my friend.
Taliana.
Right. Very well. I'm most certain that Akira, Taliana,
Oh, Silas.
Silas, and Natalia are more than capable of defending us.
Okay, good, because I haven't figured out all the possible consequences and drawbacks of using crystallized emotion in a dynamis-filled environment.
What? Do not.
I
Words.
mean, I can turn myself into a puddle. so far,
Dynamis
maybe we
is
can trip and
the
fall on
knowledge
me.
of emotion turn into some kind of energy.
I don't know how to physically manipulate myself yet.
Very interesting concept.
If we were to get
They say that you
attacked,
can break your
Automation.
limit
gravity.
through
Therefore, if we
this
were to
kind
use
of
something like
technique, using this
Crystal
energy.
part.
which is
Put 'em in the
often
paraglide.
essentially crystal formations
Oh.
based on the
Great
erosions
idea.
of an
Idea.
Ah,
I
brother.
turn
unfortunate
into a
bystander.
puddle, and you gravity them, and
I'm still studying the
fact that I'm
effects,
a liquid will make them
as
fly backwards.
these crystallizations are already potent on their own.
Yeah.
Now,
Why is there
As you can
books on the
see-
ceiling?
Oh.
Once again, we're
On the ceiling. That's the floor.
Questionable
if you
Charlie
pay closer attention, the books you see on the floor, they are blank. They are there for aesthetic.
Honestly, I thought they were painted
Oh.
onto the discs.
No, they're not.
Also,
Is that
it's
they
a
were that
matter of
lazy?
perspective whether this is the ceiling or the floor.
We're
Who
technically
knows?
on
Maybe
the
we're
floor,
actually
but
on the wall.
Oh,
What
wow.
creatures are
I
these
do not like
guys?
to mix in a third axis on this.
not.
Not as advanced as
Centaurs.
automatons as the mammoths, but essentially centaur-like constructs that I believe a more simple term would be possessed armors.
Interesting.
Essentially, to make these work, some of the Charlian researchers borrowed some of the techniques some more cultish folks utilize to affix a void send or summon a void send into this place. but instead of calling upon the powers of the void and the dark ether, they utilized neutral ether to give something like a statue or animate movement.
Funny how they ended up more potent than the original.
If
Yeah.
the centaur learned to yield, it'd be the centaur for. Oh.
Now, I believe we should be close to our final destination.
How did they get past that?
I don't think they did.
There
didn't.
are mechanisms to lower these barricades.
Oh.
Now,
They just never lower them because apparently that area is too defunct.
yes. As you can see, we have more mammoths here, and we are approaching the final. I believe this is the final room of this little excursion,
Oh.
if you would follow me. Almost. I believe it's past this
That's a
door.
lot of mammoths.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, security?
They must have been guarding something really important.
Well, let's find out what it is. Oh, another hallway.
More hallway.
Steep drop ahead.
More
Yes.
hallway. My head hurts.
Ah, here we are.
Now I know why this is a threat.
I mean, at least us being
Gotta
on the
start at the
ceiling means that
promise.
there's much less death than if the construction was reversed.
Yeah.
Honestly, I'd take that over the
Yeah, no
steepness
stairs.
of these
only positive I've
No.
slopes.
Well, less stairs.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Welcome to
Oh.
the center. Here, most of the research would be conducted. We have etherite embedded into the floor to try and connect with the ethereal sea and learn from it.
Oh.
This comes. Oh, silly, here comes the part. Nox is still here, but I just need to turn on the
Oh.
book.
Still wondering where those old porcelain dolls came from in the report.
Why were they around here or
Ooga
Who
something?
booga.
knows?
Scary.
According to the report, yes.
We can.
Nat,
Oh.
as you stand here, you can notice that the ether in here starts to gather a bit more in the center. As the rest of you can see, as the etherite and the glass panels start to glow ever so slightly.
Are they supposed to do that?
Well, there's definitely a reaction. Ether is moving.
Uncertain.
Well, that's not normal.
Isn't it?
No, stay up late for just a little bit longer. If something shows up and starts attacking, then you can draw it.
The glow becomes stronger as ether starts to gather in the center of the room. It is a
Please don't be a doll.
gentle flow of ether. It is not violent, it doesn't lash out at anyone, it simply gathers there.
Well,
Please don't be a doll. Please don't be a doll.
it's not going to summon anything. It's a very gentle stream. Nothing hostile. Nothing lashing out at us.
I should have brought my thermometer. I should have brought my thermometer.
I have them with me.
That's scary.
As it gathers, Natalia, you will see. You will think you saw Elbon for just a moment. As the ether subsides, and where the glow was, now is a small package.
Huh?
What? That.
Uh,
A small coffer.
That's interesting.
I did. Was that
I'm going to.
potentially a hallucination?
I'll take a look at it. Make sure it's safe.
I should come with you,
But it already moved on.
Well,
just in case.
anything safe, you guys can be happy to sample it.
is it safe?
It is safe.
May I? Can I go down?
Of course you can.
I want to ask first.
Thank you.
It
But what does
appears
he
to be
wish
safe to approach.
But what does he wish for us to know?
What's going on?
That's true. Indeed. They two are a family. I don't exactly dare to step on it. If you wish to go, we can go closer.
Okay.
Okay, Silas, for you as well, you will see that Smugly unpacked the package that dropped, and inside was the flash sheet holding. And Akira is holding a note. The note reads, "To my dearest daughter, even if I couldn't meet you in this life, just know that I still love you, and I'm proud of you. Here's a little gift.
Indeed.
With your navigation, I'm certain you will show us the path once more. I love you."
When they reborn, they lose their memories. Or should be, at least.
I'm just gonna force myself to say that he just said that out loud. Yeah, read it out loud. No, this is rare. Sending an entire object of the ethereal sea back onto the surface, let alone by one of the inhabitants there. This is quite impressive. No doubt that this object, in whatever its purpose is quite potent.
I am not going to invade that moment.
Elborn had a pretty big family. Snuggly is a part of it. You know,
As are you, my dear.
I'll make sure that
I'm not too sure what I am at times.
Didn't know that was a thing that they could do. And that's one of the reasons why we probably should keep it hush, just in case, neither did I.
Grandpa packaged through the weird water. Got it.
I see.
That's at least how I'm understanding it. I could be wrong.
There is a good portion of the ethereal seal I do not understand.
Okay,
Indeed.
so more to
This is
learn.
certainly something that hasn't happened before.
It's not normal.
Well, going down into the ethereal sea and meeting souls that have passed on, that much has been reported, yes. But them leaving behind a present for the living, that is a new one. Quite the discovery.
Congratulations on your historical moment, then.
I suppose this would be the second time.
The second time?
Is it?
Well, it seems today's discoveries were certainly interesting.
I might
What
also
do you
have.
want there?
figured something out.
Something we are not telling the forum about.
Agreed.
And so every day,
Stars in a bottle?
this crew manages to surprise me more and more.
Apparently, this is from Ellen.
I saw his spirit for a moment before the package arrived.
Yeah.
I figured you all did.
I know, I suggest you lot keep it hush-hush until you get back to your
I
ship.
didn't see anything.
Lest the other students get curious.
Interesting.
Of course, then again, I didn't exactly have this on or this on at the time, so... Kind of just normal vision.
I'm currently looking through the normal spectrum, though the others could sometimes collide in, so hard to tell.
Eh.
However, an interesting theory I came up with. Why the tower is upside down. To better channel in the ethereal sea into a more delicate state, you have an literal ocean. We could be potentially having a wild magic sort of a deal. With how the towers are built on the outside, from what I saw, they could be a bit more refined, pinpointed. To let the flow in a more gentle way, rather than letting in the ocean.
They're essentially using the
very good theory.
construction of an upside-down tower in order to funnel the aether in through a sort of filter or like a telescope, essentially reducing it down to a trickle via a bottleneck.
I like your funny mirror, it's magic woman. Teach me more.
I'm not gonna have you receive teaching from her. That's not gonna end well.
Why?
I tend to bust out the chalkboard quite quickly.
How many times
If
did
you
the
want to
tower
learn-
blow up already?
Actually,
Listen, it hasn't happened in the last month, which is surprising considering I've been messing with memory crystals. Or not memory crystals, emotion crystals. You know, those the
How
things they found in
about-
Boja.
we can
Those
get
things.
you and your
Seems like
siblings
it's
some
tough,
lessons
so I
from
don't gotta
Nooks.
worry about being super careful, but I'm still gonna be super,
If you are
careful.
You
willing.
want to teach a bunch of cats?
Yeah, especially considering that...
I
it is
wouldn't
gifts
mind.
and all that.
I believe I
Yeah.
can do that, yes.
Many of them are fairly young.
Well,
Azure is technically 18 by human standards, but he's still very interested in a lot of ether, magical crystal, which I'm not the best teacher for.
Well, Nox is
Then
quite good at
I'll-
aetherology, but
Then
Should
I'll be glad to help.
should any Dynamis-related matters become your curiosity, do send them over to me. While I do talk fast, it is my specialty.
Afraid so it is, yes.
Well, I suppose that would be me.
I'd be glad to give you one of my lectures or answer some questions. Just expect a chalkboard.
And a lot of probably terms you're going to have to end up learning.
It gave Astral a concussion, a verbal one.
Only one chalkboard.
Oh, I can get out all of them. I can take it in my lab if you want. That place
Oh.
is kind of an organized mess.
Chaos?
Before you
How
do,
many do
maybe
you
you can
have?
look at something. Brother, stop it.
Considering the amount
This
of
is
equations
not a
and notes I
measuring
tend to...
contest.
I believe the maximum amount I've had out was during the final days when I was trying to predict the blasphemy's behaviors. That was 5.
Which
Ah.
5 days? Are we talking the initial one or
The first
ones you-
one.
Okay.
shiny.
We don't talk about the second one. I'm still...
Yeah.
Why do you think I'm working
I
so
don't
hard
wanna
on this to
touch
make
it
up for
'cause I
that blunder?
shot mine, but it's really shiny.
Very well.
Didn't realize the person I was working with was a bloody
You okay with
sociopath.
him touching it, or...
Yeah, 1 sec. There, had to turn around.
Regardless, are there further questions, comments, concerns?
Space is
Theories?
infinite. It has infinite things inside of it. And if it has infinite
What
things
kind
inside
of
it means there's infinite things for me to
Building
learn and
construction was
understand and
done
create.
here. In this room in
Uh-oh,
particular.
chaos.
As you can see, the floor is embedded with etherite that reaches into the, I guess,
Once I understand
rooftop.
my abilities better, I will
of
end
the
up getting
building.
to the point where I'll be able to create whatever I want by piecing myself
Through
apart and creating it into
the
new things that I can use
inlaid
and return back
etherite,
to me.
they wished to analyze
So
the
kind
flow
of
of
That's at least
ether
the thought.
through the tower of the
he
ethereal
pulls the
sea
material out of his chest
and see
ends up
what they could
making,
learn
like
from
a
it.
little like
This was
small
very
version
much
of the
when
bottle,
the ethereal
like
sea
that.
was much, much less understood,
Oh,
as this was more of a
that's cool.
first step into the research
I
of
need
it.
to do
Yeah.
I see.
Therefore,
So
they
far, the
needed
only thing I can do
to
is unmold myself and mold myself back.
simply
Mom didn't
start
like it too
somewhere.
much.
And they
Like
started
what,
with
a
this.
slime?
But this seems to be a different ether.
Don't tell
Or is it
Mom.
more that it's more channeled in? Rather than the flowing here,
It is
on the
more.
edges.
Ooh.
It is more channeled.
Oh.
Yes.
So your form is much it's more malleable than those around
My
here.
son turned into slime again.
They asked me like
See,
Bobby's touching me.
Theoretically, things are done by
It is never
transformation
a dull
magic, so a
moment with
permanent
you.
change is possible through more drastic measures.
I
but
did not mean for them to
He
get so
turned bad.
chaotic. I am
I'm
sorry.
back. Got it. Yeah.
Please, it is fine. It is quite alright.
if you
It
find
takes a lot
anyone,
of
make sure not to
energy.
do that around
They are
anyone
children
that
after
is a
all.
chronic user of
I think
Indeed.
I got some of
a-
you on me. Here you go.
Make sure not to do that around anyone that seems to be a chronic user of the substance known as Fantasia. They might give you an odd look.
Oh.
Don't
don't-
drink
What?
potions that
Why
strangers
would I
give.
drink random liquids that strangers give
I
me?
have
Who
seen
do
a
you
lot of
take me
stupid
for?
people.
Macbeth?
Oh no, they might try and
You are having
There's
some
some
of
that they
his
might try and do
DNA, so I
experiments on
don't
you
know
to try
how much
and-
of his DNA is ruling yours.
Don't remind me.
I'm not worried about them drinking Fantasia. I'm more worried about those people getting so desperate they try and reverse engineer Fantasias by experimenting on them.
Fair enough.
Yes, welcome
They
to
touch
how
me,
it
they have to
usually
go through my
ends up.
mother and my father and basically
this
anybody else who likes us. And
group.
that's dangerous.
From what
Chaos.
antics I've heard of your crew, I doubt that'll end well for them. You'll
And
probably
it's not
be fine.
like a
Oh, no.
frickin' last
Chaos.
Now,
Oh.
if
Upside
there's
down
not
mind, baby,
else,
stuff outside.
He's being
Shall
touched
we
by
return?
God.
Indeed.
He's being touched by God.
very well. And
There's a little goddess here, technically.
Cardstone.